What is up, everyone? Michelle Alexandria coming at you with video number two today. And today's quick topic is my beloved iPad Air. Yes, this is the original iPad Air 128 gigabyte cellular version that came out in November of 2013. And that, and my question the question of my video is actually going to be, it's not clickbait, people. The question is a 2013 iPad Air still relevant today? Should you buy an iPad Air if you have an opportunity to? And my answer is no. Don't buy one. Buy the brand new iPad. The thing is, I'm always for buying current technology and never going back. That's just my basic model. But once I buy something I like, I always buy the best version of whatever it is I'm going to buy, because then you know it's going to last a good 5 or 10 years, and then like 5 or 6 years, which justifies the high cost. When I originally paid for this thing, and for those of you who say Apple is too expensive, not really, because when I originally paid for this iPad Air, this thing was $1,000, maybe like $1,100, because basically it was $899 for the 128 gigabyte cellular model. So that's $899 plus tax, and then I had bought Apple Care for it, which at the time was like $200. And then I bought a case, of course. So by the time you tally all that stuff up, this thing was $1,000. I immediately regretted that choice. $1,000 for a tablet where the only thing I do with this thing is read books and comic books. I don't do anything else with this thing. I don't write on it. I don't take photos with it. I don't do anything else. So that's a heck of a lot of money to spend on a tablet. When in the last week I've had a hankering to get the new iPad, especially since it comes with the free Apple TV Plus service, and this is before I knew Apple was going to support me. The Apple TV Plus people were going to support me. So I bought a brand new iPad. Plus, I just wanted something new and something fresh. But I had that iPad, the 2019 iPad, for a couple of days, and I hated it. I hated the size. It just felt bigger, heavier, more bulkier. The iPad Air not at 9.7 inches is perfect for me, and I'm gonna be annoyed when this thing finally dies on me, and I'm gonna have to get the new iPad, because 9.7 inches is the perfect size for me. It feels nice in my hand. It doesn't feel as big or bulky to me. It's still fairly lightweight. It's still very fast, actually, and it just got its very last update that a couple of weeks ago, because they got iOS 12.4.1. It doesn't qualify for the brand new iPad OS, which I tried on the new iPad and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Plus, the iBooks really didn't work well. And again, that's the primary use case I use for it, is the iBooks, and it didn't work well. The iBooks didn't, for some reason, didn't recognize my ebooks from iCloud. It wouldn't download my ebooks, and I was like, "What's going on here?" So I stuck with my iPad Air, and this iPad Air is still fast. It's fluid as heck. So look at this. I hope you can see this, but look, it's still pretty fast and fluid. You can get into apps very quickly. I mean, there is a little more stutter lately, and it crashes a little bit more, but that's all the Apple products these days. My 10R is terrible. It's a terrible phone. And the only reason why I got that is because my 6S died conveniently enough on the day the XR came out, so I wasn't happy with that. But you can get into books really quickly. See how fast that launched. You can get into the App Store really fast, and maybe not really fast, but there's a slight delay. But I don't need stuff to be really all that instant. But yeah, you can get into a lot of stuff. You can get into your DC app. Takes a while, takes a minute. So so yeah, I really like the iPad Air. I'm still enjoying my iPad Air. It kind of annoys me, kind of frustrates it still frustrates me, because sometimes it does, like I said, it does stutter, and it didn't stutter as much until the new 12.41 update from 2 weeks ago. Before that, it was a lot more buttery smooth than it is now. But considering all I do on this thing is read, once I'm in one of my reading apps like Comixology or iBooks, and I have my book up and running, then speed doesn't really matter. But it's still, considering this device is going to be 6 years old as of November 1. That's pretty darn good support and longevity for a piece of electronic hardware. Who does that anymore? That's one of the reasons why I still like Apple, even though, again, Apple drives me nuts. I hate most of their newer stuff. I hate most of their current software and the direction their software is taking. But the thing I really love about them is they do support their products for years and years and years. And you can't say that about a lot of different companies. So yeah, the iPad Air 2013 is absolutely still worth owning. And there's no real reason to upgrade right now. I mean, I'm still holding out hope that someday Apple comes up with the OLED iPad. When they do that, then that would be great. Or a higher resolution iPad. And the weird thing is, when you compare the specs on this, go to apple.com and compare this. They still have the specs for this iPad. They still have, I will show it to you on my screen as B-roll, but they still had this, but that required extra work for me. If you go to apple.com and you look up the iPad and you do the compare function, you could compare the iPad Air, the original one, to current iPads. It hasn't changed that much, especially in the display department. And that's pretty disappointing. In 6 years, the display really hasn't changed all that much. So I'm still hoping for a radical display change where everything's going to be a lot sharper, a lot clearer, and you're going to have like a lot of nice anti-reflective screen. I know that the higher-end iPad Pro models have anti-reflective coating on their screens, but that is not worth like spending another $800 when you can get an iPad for $329. And that's where I was going with all of this earlier, where I was like, I paid $1,000 for this iPad back in the day. You can now buy basically the same iPad that's going to be bigger with touchscreen for $399 or for $429. That is not too bad at all. So anyway, I don't know if I have energy. I'm just trying to tell my story straight without being a hyperactive little bunny anymore. So yeah, I really, really enjoy this iPad. So yeah, definitely go out and buy it. Well, not buy it, but don't sell your iPad. You don't need to upgrade. If you have an iPad, there's no real reason to upgrade to the brand new iPad because Apple really hasn't done anything to really improve iPads in the last 6 years. And if all you're doing on your iPad is doing some reading, all you're doing on your iPad is doing some reading, this is a perfect device for that. I don't see how people can actually watch videos on iPads. Yeah, the screen is nice, but the resolution is kind of terrible. And actually, I mean, you can still watch stuff. I'm just not a small screen person when it comes to video. I like having a big screen TV. And when I watch something, I only want to watch it on a big screen TV. I don't want to watch stuff on my phones and on my mobile devices. I know it's what all you youngins love to do, but I'm not that type of person. So anyway, if you want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to leave a comment, and but be clean, be respectful, or you'll get banned. But feel free to leave a comment if you want. So talk to you guys later. Bye.